I try to comprehend what could possibly be redeemable about this administration. I try to put myself in the mindset, and I just don't see anything. Like, there is not, what is there to look forward to with the Trump agenda? Everything is shit. And it's not even entirely Trump's fault either. As I said before, a lot of the stuff he did inherit / also participated in when he was president in 2016. But every time he's in charge, it just seemingly accelerates the demise, right? So what is there to look forward to? I mean, I guess it's just the distractions of the Patriot games. We're really doing bread and circuses, Roman Empire style, UFC on the lawn of the White House, or the Patriot games, or shit like that. It's the most insane cope of all time. The idea that, like, oh, I know there is a major financial crisis that's imminent. The economy is in the pooper, and our corrupt billionaires are much more brazen and much more open about their corruption and their wheeling and dealing. And life for the average American is getting worse every day. But the World Cup's going to be here. No one is even thinking about, like, the amount of money and logistics required to put that stuff together. No one's thinking about what that's going to look like with the Trump administration's insane tourism policies. Like, are we just going to deploy what remains of government funds to make sure that we hire enough ICE agents so they can carefully comb through the hundreds of thousands of people coming to the United States of America to watch the World Cup, like their 5-year social media footprint? I guess we'll just, toss AI onto that, have AI tackle it. Guess that's the way we do it, right? I suspect that'll be how it goes.
America.
President Trump addressing the nation in a combative and defensive primetime speech, placing the blame on Democrats for the economic challenges happening under his administration.
I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down.
It's always good when you start off by saying, a year into your presidency, I've inherited a mess. It's always good when you have bold leaders that are taking ownership over how terrible things are going. And instead of taking ownership over it like a good leader would, instantly choosing to blame the previous administration for the economic hardships that Americans are experiencing, only to then turn around and say, actually, there are no economic hardships, as a matter of fact. I inherited a mess, and there's actually no mess any longer. It's not going to get better. And I don't know how motivating this is for people. Absolutely no such thing as must know. The simple reality is lying to yourself is incredibly easy for human beings, and they believe the fantasies. That's simple. Doesn't matter how much evidence stacks up. They will never accept that they were made fools for believing in this. As I've said before, there's only so much distraction that you can feed your brain that helps you forget about how difficult things are for you in this affordability crisis, where the government is readily admitting that there are recessions taking place in different parts of the country. But I wish more people in positions of prominence, more people with influence, people in the Democratic Party would just be like, hey guys, Trump did that. He's in power. Do things feel good for you? Does it feel like it's working? Because it doesn't feel like it's working at all.
Very fast.
But polls show that's not the reality for most Americans. While some grocery items like eggs are down, economists say Americans have paid higher prices on everything from lettuce to beef to coffee because of the president's tariffs. A new Quinnipiac poll reveals 65% of voters say the state of the economy is poor or not so good, with 50% saying Trump's policies are just making things worse. The president, well aware the economy will be front and center in next year's midterms, suddenly promising a cash giveaway, announcing his administration is sending out checks for $1,776 to military service members before Christmas.
1 million.
I disagree with the previous sentiment. Everyone absolutely has a breaking point. People are forgetting the promise of America is we get the treats. If we don't get the treats and life continues to get worse for people over time, they will realize they're a frog in the boiling pot. No, I definitely think that whichever administration is in a position to try and manage the marketing, try and manage the PR of the demise of American empire is always going to have a difficult job. It's not easy if Brandon's doing it. It's not easy if Trump is doing it, especially in the absence of like sweeping change that they're promising. And and in Trump's case, that sweeping change is not actually in the direction of solving any of these issues, and instead, in many circumstances, making the problems worse. Like his big solution was tariffs. Everybody fucking hated it. It played a role in making things more costly. Also, I do feel like this is the most anti-gamer administration we've ever had, because part of what they've done, part of what they've done with their extra focus on both data centers and their focus on AI has unironically made so many of the different components that gamers need for their gaming PCs more expensive, the tariffs as well. So this is objectively the most anti-gamer administration we've ever had. And yet there are still so many gamer hogs that think like Donald Trump is the great messiah. Have fun with all of that, guys. Unprecedented levels of monopolization taking place. All of that is leading to worse services and worse products overall for a higher price point. And on top of that, you get none of your treats. I think lots of folks are too committed. Your questions are correct, but if they begin questioning Trump's lunacy now, then they have to accept that maybe all along they've been supporting someone who destroys and disrupts rather than creates and emboldens. And I think the people who vote for Trump don't have the social capital to accept this. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just talking about people in the margins. There's always people in the margins. There's always going to be people who, at a certain point, recognize that maybe this wasn't the right thing. Maybe the hopes that they placed on this guy, maybe that was false hope. Maybe it was on his false promises. I'm always going to be here to accept those who actually make that change, who actually engage in that radical act of recognition, because I think it's a important thing to do. I think it's a powerful thing to do, and it's good for people to not find themselves rudderless when they actually do take that next step. I think most people recognize this shit is rigged and isn't working for them. They just don't have organization that collectivizes their power in order to change it, or even direct them to more productive outlets. That's the other side of this. That's why I yell at the Democrats quite a bit, right? Because it's the most common position. Dude, this is all fucked. Both parties are actually working for the powerful. And that statement in and of itself is not the worst statement to make, right? Not a bad statement. There is a lot of truth to that. I think both sides are bad. One side is worse, certainly. But I do think, the reason why I do yell at one side, the Democrat side especially, is because they seemingly have no investment in making the necessary changes or even galvanizing the public in a more productive manner, moving them in a more productive direction. So that's why we're in this never-ending spiral.
450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend in honor of our nation's founding.
You know what that's about, right? $1,776.10. Nothing a good deal of war won't solve, everybody. You'll forget all about it when we wage war with Venezuela because they're holding our land and our oil inside of their national boundaries, of which they thought they had sovereignty over. Duh. That's unacceptable. What are we talking about?
In 1776, we are sending every soldier.
I'm calling this the Chevron War, okay? Chevron is seemingly the only company that is still allowed to take oil out of Venezuela.
$1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way.
The president says that money is coming from...
Can you explain what they mean by Venezuela stole our land? I have no idea what they're referencing. It's bullshit, chatter. There's no rhyme or reason. They're just claiming that America... Look, it's the same exact colonialist argument that the British made when the Iranian government under Mossadegh wanted to take a closer look at the extraction process on Iranian oil fields that were being run by British Petroleum. It's the exact same argument. They're like, oh, we built those refineries, which is bullshit. But regardless, like Americans built those refineries. Those are, the oil being extracted from the ground is supposed to be our oil. I don't know how else to describe it other than they're just stealing, or they want to steal. Any sort of sovereignty is a terrifying prospect for the United States of America. As long as Maduro is still in charge, even if he offers up the natural resources of Venezuela, that's still not enough because, God forbid, he set up contracts with our foreign adversary, China, for example. As I've said over and over again, this is a historical repeat. This is a historical repeat that is taking place right now in Venezuela. But let's continue.
Tariff revenue. But even Republicans have said he can't cut those checks without approval from Congress first. And as more than 20 million Americans prepare for their health insurance premiums to skyrocket at the end of the year, the president once again teasing his health care plan, but offering no substantial details. Instead, he blamed Democrats for expiring subsidies.
And it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act.
Republicans control both chambers of Congress and are set to leave town in just a few hours without sending a health care bill to the president's desk.
So the president told reporters in the room that his White House chief of staff, Susie Wiles, told him to deliver this speech. He promised that the economy would improve next year, that prices would come down. He also promised aggressive housing reform, but did not provide any details on what exactly he plans to do.
You know this shit didn't bang because, as I covered last night, Sean Hannity spent like 20 minutes on it and then moved on to other things, okay? The Pettysburg Address. If this speech actually banged, Fox News would be doing victory laps all over, being like, the libs are so owned, dude. Oh my God. American prosperity is imminent, right? And they basically were like, yeah, great. It was really cool. It's going to really help us in the midterms. Let's move on. It was a crazy speech overall. He hit all the same lines that you expect from a regular rally speech. Great stuff. Just yelling the entire time. Just started off strong with, I inherited a mess. The problems that he claims are destroying America are made up. The solutions that he creates are very real, but those are not real solutions to improving people's economic conditions, of course. And the financial struggles that he claims are fake are actually very real. It's upside down world in every way, shape, and form.